Hi everyone, Jeff Appleby here. We've got your October 2025 market updates. No sunglasses today. Updates like these are the reason I like doing this monthly report. Sometimes it's really easy to tell what's happening in the market. We've got a lot of mixed signals, so that's why I find these interesting. So I'm going to create some clarity for you. We're going to jump right into it. So the latest Greater Vancouver Realtors report opened up with another Bank of Canada rate cut and easing prices helped Metro Vancouver home sales edge higher relative to last September. The truth is, those sales were only up 1.2% from last September. So basically identical to last year, and we're still 20% below the 10-year average for the month of September. So sales remain pretty weak, but not absurdly weak. You know, I think we're coming off a very busy 10 years, so that 10-year average is probably high. The bigger story, however, is that inventory is 14% up from last September, and it's 36% above the 10-year average for this month. So inventory is really high. That's the big story in my eyes. You got really high inventory, pretty slow demand, low buyer demand, and that's gonna lead to easing prices. Prices did go down 0.7% last month, and that's pretty meaningful, and that's still sort of the trend at play right now. All right, what does this all mean on the ground? Well, buyers are still in control. There's still less buyers than supply, so it's a good time to be buying or to be moving up. As we're seeing sales creep up, it is a changing dynamic a little bit, but we're still seeing prices soften. Prices softened, as I said, 0.7% last month, so we're still seeing that demand is not keeping up with supply. Now, a lot of deals have been out and about. With all the supply, the motivated sellers are really dropping their price. If we start to see more buying come in this fall, we'll start to see all those deals on the very bottom get scooped up first. We'll also see entry-level detached and townhomes probably start to move first, if this is the trend that continues. I was in multiple offers last week with some buyers of mine. We were offering on an entry-level detached house around the 1.7 mark in East Van. There was 4 groups. And then the other thing to really watch for is that we're probably going to have another interest rate drop this year, and then who knows, well, possibly have a couple more in the spring, and that is typically really good for real estate. We see activity climb when we have those interest rate drops in the Bank of Canada, but you got to remember, this is against the backdrop of our economy really in pain. A lot of layoffs, a lot of companies are moving operations elsewhere, so that is a big shift, and that matters. All this to say, this isn't a turnaround. We got a small bump up in buyer demand. That may or may not be a trend. I think really the market is just continuing to find its equilibrium. We'll see prices continue to soften until we see a little bit more buying come in. Sellers need to look at today's fundamentals, where prices are at today, where their neighbors sold for today. A lot of them are still hoping for 2021, 22 prices, and that's why they're sitting on the market for 300 days. And then for buyers, great opportunities to move up. But the deals at the very bottom won't last forever. And like I said, if this buyer demand does trend up, a lot of the really cheap, desperate sellers, those will be gone. Those will get plucked first. Call me if you want to strategize.